What if today was the day you stopped chasing and started receiving everything you've ever wanted? Abundance, peace, and true alignment. In the next few minutes, you'll discover a profound spiritual truth that will completely rewrite your reality. The power to attract doesn't come from desperate striving. It comes from mastering the art of letting go. This video is going to give you the keys to stop blocking your desires with frantic energy, finally allowing your deepest wishes to manifest effortlessly. You'll learn how the void you feared actually holds the infinite possibilities you've been seeking. If you're ready to experience this transformative shift and align yourself with the natural flow of abundance, hit subscribe and let's begin your journey inward right now. They told you to focus, hustle, visualize every detail. But what if needing nothing attracts everything? Spiritual truths often hide within contradictions. We're conditioned to think effort equals outcome. The more you want, the closer it gets. But spiritually, obsession creates distortion. Grasping repels what you reach for. Desire rooted in lack isn't a bridge, it's a wall. You chase reflections, not realities. The more you run, the further the oasis shifts into mirage. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you've transmuted. The quantum field doesn't respond to desperation. It mirrors coherence, not craving. When your frequency screams, "I need this," the universe hears, "I'm not ready." You weren't broken. You were becoming spacious enough for truth. Emptiness isn't failure. It's presence in pure form. Presence is magnetic. Some things arrive only when you stop asking. Pause and consider this. What if what you're begging for is circling, quietly waiting for you to stop screaming? Stillness isn't absence. It's alignment. If that resonated, pause and like this video. It tells the algorithm you're ready for more. Chasing is loud. The universe whispers. It only delivers to those quiet enough to listen. The divine doesn't speak loudly. It waits until you're quiet. What does needing nothing mean? It's not pretending. It's trusting. Holding wholeness before it arrives. You're not late. You're ripening. This isn't spiritual bypassing. It's spiritual remembering. Focus plus emotion. Creation, not force plus timeline. Stillness becomes the signal. Let go, not because it's easy, but because it's done. Now you see, the paradox isn't a puzzle. It's a mirror for surrender. When you stop acting as if something's missing, life stops acting as if it's hiding. But here's the twist no one mentions. What if the thing you desire appears only when you no longer need it to complete you? There's a traveler, lost in the desert. His lips are dry, his feet burned, his thoughts loud. He sees a mirage, shimmering hope on the horizon. So he runs, and runs, and runs, never noticing the stillness behind him. Every step he takes, his thirst grows louder. Just over the next dune, he whispers, "I'll find what I'm dying for." But the oasis keeps moving. The more he chases, the more it fades. This is how we live, sprinting toward illusions. The mirage is real, but only in his mind. Like most of us, he's chasing a projection, not a path. And that projection is shaped by one thing: the belief that peace lives somewhere else. The chase isn't progress, it's distraction. Then something shifts. His legs give in. He drops, exhausted, breathless, defeated. And in that moment, the first moment he stops, he hears it. Wind, silence, a presence, something that was there all along. He looks up, and the oasis isn't gone. It's right in front of him. Water, shade, rest, but only now that he's still. What dissolves in silence reveals your true shape. Stillness didn't create the miracle. It revealed it. We've all been the traveler, chasing love, purpose, peace, like they're lost in the sand. But the more we run, the more lost we feel. We don't see that what we seek doesn't come from movement. It comes from alignment. Fear rushes, love waits, and in that waiting, the door opens. The path isn't forward, it's inward. The desert wasn't punishing him, it was purifying him. Stillness was always the threshold, but he couldn't see it until he stopped. Now imagine your life like that desert. How much energy are you spending chasing something that's already waiting for you to be still? How long will you keep running before you realize stillness is not stagnation? It's sacred preparation. Be like the river, soft, unstoppable, finding your way through stone. Sometimes, surrender gives you what striving never will. The oasis doesn't reward effort. It responds to presence. The thirst wasn't the problem. The running was, and maybe the universe isn't testing your will. Maybe it's asking, are you ready to receive what's already been here? You think letting go means giving up, that surrender is weakness. But what if it's the exact opposite? What if letting go is how you finally take your power back? We cling because we're afraid of the unknown, afraid to be empty, afraid that if we don't grip tight, everything will fall apart. But that grip, it's what's keeping you stuck. The universe doesn't need your control, it needs your coherence. You don't open to the quantum field by force, you open through trust. Stillness isn't absence, it's alignment. Non-attachment isn't passive, it's not apathy. It's the choice to be rooted in your frequency, not your fear. It's seeing clearly without needing to possess. Healing doesn't add, it subtracts what was never you. Every time you hold on, you tighten the knot. You stop energy from flowing, and you confuse control with love. The desire to control is the echo of a forgotten wound. So here's the shift. Open your hand. Unclench the mind. Let go, not to lose, but to make room. Room for something greater. Room for what you've been blocking all along. We suffer because we attach our identity to outcomes. When we don't get them, we think we've failed. But the truth? You are not what happens. You are what stays when everything else leaves. The more shadow you face, the more light you carry. To surrender is to meet yourself beneath the noise. It's to sit with what is and love it anyway. No pushing, no pulling, just being. Let this land. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you've transmuted. That's the power of surrender. That's the beauty of becoming. Not by effort, but by emptiness. We've been told that emptiness is failure, that silence means something's wrong. But what if emptiness is the exact place where everything begins? Your emptiness is not a flaw. It's where the sacred begins. Most people don't fear the void itself. They fear what they'll find inside it, the shadows, the memories, the truth. But silence doesn't scare you. It reveals the version of you that's tired of performing. You fill every gap with noise, scrolling, talking, planning, fixing. You fear stillness because stillness is honest. You rush to fill the space because the version of you behind the noise is too honest to ignore. But here's the hidden truth. The void is not an absence. It's a sacred blueprint waiting for your presence. Emptiness is the sacred pause before a new frequency emerges. The field prepares before it blooms. Across ancient teachings, this void is revered. In Taoism, it's the eternal Tao. In Buddhism, it's Shunyata, fertile emptiness. Rumi called it the space where loss transforms. Across temples and tombs, the wise never feared the void. They bowed to it. Why? Because emptiness allows transmutation. It holds no opinion, no form, no resistance. In that space, you are no longer reacting, you are remembering. What dissolves in silence reveals your true shape. Even the mind, so addicted to answers, relaxes in real emptiness. The quantum field isn't accessed through thought, it's entered through stillness. The divine doesn't speak loudly, It waits until you're quiet. Try this. Next time you reach for distraction, pause. Let the stillness grow. Feel the edge of discomfort and stay. You'll see, the more we have of the world, the less we have of truth. The mind fears what cannot be labeled, but your soul lives in that space. What are you gripping that's quietly holding you back? The emptiness isn't pain. It's space for the sacred to echo back to you. There is a reason all creation myths begin in the dark. The void is not empty. It's full of what you're ready to become. Stop fearing what was always meant to birth you. Now pause and ask yourself, are you truly lost, or just afraid of being found in the silence? Before anything exists, there is space. Before a word, there is breath. Before creation, there is void. The void is not a lack, it's the mother of all beginnings. Most people think emptiness means nothingness, but in truth, it holds everything, unformed, untouched, waiting. The void is like a well, used, but never used up. Taoism calls it the Tao, the source of all that moves, though itself unmoved. Buddhism calls it shunyata, not empty, but endlessly open. Presence lives in the places we think are silent. Creation doesn't come from noise. It emerges from the still, like the pause before a lightning strike, or the space between two heartbeats. In stillness, you're not alone. You're surrounded by what's becoming. You weren't broken. You were just becoming spacious enough for truth. Everything you think you've lost might just be waiting to return in new form. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in a new form. In the field of energy, silence is the container. Vibration begins in the unseen. You don't shape your life by movement alone. You shape it in how you hold the space before the movement. Every attachment is a mirror of who you think you are. But the void reflects nothing. And in that reflection, you meet your true self. No roles, no pressure, just potential. It's where form forgets it's solid. Modern life fears the pause, but ancient life revered it. The Egyptians, the Taoists, the mystics, they all built their temples with space between stones, not for design, for breath, for spirit. You may think you need more action, more certainty, but what if you needed more space, more breath between efforts, more listening before asking? Let go, not because it's easy, but because it's done. Next time you feel the urge to fill the silence, let it stretch, let it speak. The void doesn't need fixing. It's already whole. Stillness isn't what you fall into when things fall apart. It's where you return to begin again. There's a way to move without pushing, to act without effort, to receive without chasing. This isn't passivity, it's alignment. Stillness isn't absence, it's precision in flow. Taoism calls it Wu Wei, effortless action. It's when life moves through you instead of you forcing life to move. The Tao does nothing, yet nothing is left undone. This is the secret rhythm hidden beneath chaos. Most people confuse effort with control. They believe force proves commitment, but what they call drive is often fear in disguise. Fear rushes, love waits, trust listens. That's where the shift begins. When your energy is clean, the field responds. But when your vibration is frantic, reality reflects distortion. Focus, I'll plus emotion. Creation, but only when emotion isn't drenched in desperation. Creation flows where there's trust. You've been taught to hustle, but hustle is a trauma response. The body tenses, the mind races, and nothing lands. But the one who breathes, receives. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you've embodied. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. That's Rumi. He didn't say chase. He said follow, gently, lovingly, magnetically. Let your life be shaped by gravity, not by grind. Pause and ask, what would life feel like if I stopped swimming upstream? If I trusted the tide instead of trying to redirect the river? This isn't giving up. It's giving space for miracles to arrive. By the way, if this speaks to you, check out How to Program Your Sleep for Conscious Healing. It goes even deeper into alignment. Everything you push becomes heavier. Everything you allow becomes lighter. This is not a metaphor. It's how energy works. The more you release, the more you become. Action without resistance is action that lands. This isn't spiritual fluff. It's energetic science. The heart and brain in coherence become a broadcast. They shape reality like a tuning fork. The observer creates reality, but only when the observer is surrendered. What would happen if just for one day you did only what felt like a yes in your chest? You'd stop trying to force timelines, and maybe, just maybe, things would unfold exactly as they were always meant to. So now breathe, not to relax, but to remember. You are not behind. You are in rhythm. You are already in the current. Maybe what you've been forcing was already flowing your way. Close your eyes if it feels safe. Not to escape, but to return. To step back from the noise and meet the part of you that's been waiting. Breathe in space. Breathe out fear. You are already becoming. Now ask yourself gently, what am I still holding on to? A memory? A need? A version of yourself that no longer fits? Let it rise. Let it show itself. You don't have to fix it, just see it. Visualize it in your hands. Heavy, familiar, maybe even sacred. Then imagine setting it down, not throwing it away, just releasing it from your grip. What are you gripping? That's quietly holding you back. Watch it drift, like breath in winter, disappearing into stillness. Feel the space it leaves behind, not emptiness, but readiness. Healing doesn't add, it subtracts what was never you. Take a few breaths here, not to control them, just to observe. Notice what it feels like to let go of needing. Notice how your body softens when you stop resisting. You are not late. You are ripening. Now gently ask, what am I ready to receive? Not what you want, but what you're ready for. The frequency you've matched by releasing. Maybe peace, maybe clarity, maybe nothing, and even that is everything. Visualize it entering, like a soft current through the chest. Light, quiet, undeniable. Let it settle. Where the grip used to be, if you were truly empty, what would you welcome in? Trust that what you've made space for is already on its way. Trust the field. Trust your body. The universe doesn't withhold. It waits for your surrender. The field responds not to desire, but to readiness. Now ask yourself the final question. How can I move forward with more? Trust? Not trust in outcome, but trust in rhythm, in intelligence, in the timing that never rushes, yet is always precise. You don't need to be in control to be in alignment. Trust is not passive. It's a frequency. And when you hold it long enough, everything starts to move. Now, come back slowly. Bring your awareness to the present. Not to leave the state, but to carry it. You're not missing anything. The universe has always been inside you. You've come full circle, from paradox to clarity. By needing nothing, you attract everything. Presence, not pursuit, opens the door. You don't attract desires. You attract who you've become. Alchemy isn't loud. It whispers through stillness, surrender, and trust. You're not lacking or delayed. You're in sacred preparation. The pause isn't a glitch. It's where your next form takes shape. Maybe what you seek is already arriving, but you're reaching too hard to notice. Alignment isn't doing more, it's tuning in. The Tao teaches, do nothing, yet nothing remains undone. Stillness isn't collapse. It's your remembrance and your new beginning. Now ask yourself, where am I forcing what's already flowing? Let the answer guide you inward, where truth quietly waits. If this resonated deeply, subscribe and leave a like to help spread this powerful truth. In the comments, declare this empowering phrase, I am no longer chasing, I'm attracting. And please, share this with someone who is still stuck in the exhausting cycle of chasing after life.